This one might be like the single strangest piece of music I've ever listened to. Maybe Trout Mask Replica, actually, or Curious Stories from the Bible. But this one's definitely up there with them, if not above them. So, Mr. Bungle is a band from Eureka, California. The members at the time were Mike Patton, Trace Bruance, Trevor Dunn, Theo Langiel, Danny Heifetz, and Clint McKinnon. And they joined together after getting kicked out of countless other bands, according to them. They released their debut self-titled album in 1991 to very varied reviews. Some people thought it was brilliant, some people thought it was trash. And the band released their second album in 1995. So, coming off of the band's first album, this was not what I expected at all. Like, at all. Disco Volante is such a strange thing, because it's like they just threw a bunch of genres of music into a blender and turned it on. And what they got out of the blender was just this album. It features death metal, experimental rock, jazz, Arabic music, techno, tango, and klezmer. Like, what even is that? Every single song here feels and sounds completely different from the last one, but that's kind of what makes this album work. Usually I like it when albums kind of stick to a consistent kind of tone and sound, and I don't really like it when they go outside of that. But this whole album's tone and sound is every song being basically as random as possible, so it actually kind of works here. Half of the lyrics on this album are either not in English or like actual gibberish. Not gibberish as in, oh, I can't hear it, it sounds like gibberish, something death grips. I mean, like, so many lyrics on this album are actual just gibberish. But all of the lyrics that do actually mean something are all talking about pretty nasty stuff, like child abuse and social isolation. This album also features two kind of secret hidden songs. One of them is after the track Carry Stress in the Jaw on streaming services. Like, it's just added in at the very end of the song. It just starts immediately after. It's part of the same like track. And another one at the very end of the album, but you have to wait a few minutes after the last song ends because there's like a few minutes of silence on the version on streaming services. The album is named after a yacht from a James Bond movie, and it's Italian for flying saucer. Not sure how that's relevant at all, but cool, I guess. So for the best songs, one of them I think is Carry Stress in the Jaw. This song kind of shows off what makes Disco Volante Disco Volante. It's just a mishmash of so many different styles and genres of music, and it's completely bizarre, but in a weird way it's also brilliant. This one, as I mentioned earlier, includes a secret song on streaming services. I think originally the secret song, you had to place the needle on a specific part of the vinyl record to get it to play, which was probably really finicky, but you know, nowadays you can just kind of hear it. It's part of the song, you don't have to go out of your way to hear it. Funny story about it, so the whole secret song was recorded without Trevor Dunn knowing, but Trevor Dunn actually found the tape recording of the song and nobody knew that he found it. So he recorded himself doing like an old man voice saying how he was pissed off that he didn't even get to play on this song that he just found. And then the singer Mike Patton found out that Trevor had found out about the secret song that he wasn't meant to know about. So when everyone else found out that Trevor found out about the secret song because they heard him, you know, saying the old man voice thing, Mike Patton just pretended to be pissed off. It's just weird stuff like this that would only happen to a band like Mr. Bungle, because only a band like Mr. Bungle would think it was funny to record a whole song without one of the members of the band and just never tell him about it and hide it in a secret second groove on the album vinyl. Another one of the best songs is Desert Search for Techno Allah. As the incredible title of this song suggests, it's a mix of techno and Arabic music. It's such a stupid concept, but it actually works really well, I think. This song reminds me of some of the more bizarre stuff that Aphex Twin has done. So if you like some of his stuff, this song might be worth checking out. It's not super similar in sound to Aphex Twin, but it's definitely similar in kind of bizarre personality, if that makes sense. Another of the best songs is Mamishka Mauskow's. Yes, that's the actual name of the song. Remember when I said that a bunch of the lyrics on this album were just actual gibberish? This is where a lot of them are. And despite that, it's unironically a great song. And just, again, is Mr. Bungle doing whatever the hell Mr. Bungle does. I did get caught out by the jump scare at the end. So, thanks, Mike. So for the worst songs, I think one of them is the opener, Everyone I Went to High School With Is Dead. I don't really want to put this song here, but I feel like I probably should. It's a more generic kind of just thrash metal song, and as you can probably tell, that doesn't really fit the rest of the album, because the rest of it is really experimental, genre-bending stuff, and this is just a, as I said, generic kind of thrash metal song. I think maybe the purpose of it was to kind of give, people who were fans of them when this album came out kind of a false sense of security, so they'd go into it going, oh yeah, this is hard stuff from Mr. Bungle, and by the end, their brains just been like completely melted. And I do enjoy this song, but yeah, I'm gonna put it here because I don't really feel like it fits the rest of the album. Another of the worst songs is After School Special. Like Everyone I Went to High School With Is Dead. It's just very reminiscent of the band's previous work, and that, similarity to the previous work and not really fitting into this album is one of the reasons that it's here, but not the main one. We'll get to that in a second. This song is, I think, really good. The song's about an abusive family from the perspective of a young son, and, it's done really well. I think it's a song that I personally enjoy a lot, except for the last minute, because in the last minute, Mike Patton does this really weird, like, pitched up voice thing, trying to be like I think it's meant to sound like a child or something, and he's saying, "Stop tickling me," and I just get a really weird vibe off of it, and I just don't like listening to it. Kind of similar to, Girls of Corn off of the band's last album. Both of the worst songs on this album, I think, are still pretty good, but I just don't feel like they fit on here necessarily as well as they would have fit on kind of their last album. So that's why they're here. So as for the album cover, this was a picture found by Trevor Dunn as he was researching deep sea diving in a library. Why was he researching deep sea diving? I don't know, come on. This is Mr. Bungle. Have you learned nothing from this review so far? It's a picture of somebody holding up a dead fish to their eye. I think it looks really cool. Don't know what it has to do with like anything on the album, but it looks cool. Overall, this album is completely ridiculous and bonkers in every way. But it's also brilliant. Classic Mr. Bungle. For this one, I'm feeling 9 James Bond yachts out of 10. And yeah, this one was really fun to listen to. Yeah, that's it. Bye.